So unlike any traditional webinar, I don't want to follow a structured outline or a narration of a particular topic that whatever I've chosen. So I'll simply explain like how we think, how we do the business, and with the goal of. So I have two personas here in this things. I mean in this webinar. So one is a people who wants to learn and maybe start something in real estate as an entrepreneur or a career professional or something. And the second one is an investor, like how they need to think and invest in a real estate. So with these two personas, I'll be going ahead. So now, okay, come to my introduction. So we are a company called Triton Homes LLP. That's our official name, and due to multiple projects, so we are called the Triton Group. And so this is our entire portfolio in one single snapshot. We have delivered almost close to 1 million square feet in the market, predominantly in the Bangalore market. And we also have few projects in Andhra nearby Bangalore border area itself. So all these projects we have started in 2013, and so these two are currently ongoing one. These are all delivered projects in the Bangalore market, and we are total three key professionals, and one is me. And so I've done EPGP from our college from 2017 to 18 batch. Before that, I worked with Oracle as a software engineer. So post our MBA, I've joined Accenture Strategy from our campus itself as a strategy consultant. I worked in every industry out there and understand how the business works in every industry, and moved on to Shell to take up on strategy advisor to my CEO. And I had opportunity to work in real estate firm like S&P, like Shapoorji and Pallonji firm, understood real estate, just connected my dots with my existing network of my engineering classmates and distant relatives. So that's how got an opportunity to become a direct partner in this company. So we were called Sanvi Group earlier, and then so after coming in, I'm doing this rebranding exercise of Triton Group. So mainly due to our future customers focus, Gen Zs, maybe few of you are Gen Zs, to align with their story or vibration creations and the vibes of the Gen Z people who will be our future customers. That's a story behind the Triton Group. So the interesting thing is, you see our Triton Group logo, just to align more with those story or content creation of Gen Z guys. Triton is a moon that orbits around the Neptune. That's why this O is a moon orbits around the Neptune. That's why the circle is, orbiting around the Neptune. And apparently, this planet has conducive atmosphere for life. So all our Triton projects also create some experiences for our customers. Unlike traditional builder, create a product and push it in the market. No. So from the Triton projects, so this is our first project under this new rebranding one. So this project is solving some problem. So we are not calling any of our projects as projects. We are calling our projects a product. For example, how the fan solves a problem of suffocation. So our product solves some problem. For instance, our villa project solves a problem of EMIs for our customers, or the freedom problem that they got stuck with the EMIs. So we are giving completely zero EMI concept. They don't need to pay single rupee from their pocket. So, and Triton is also a Greek god name. That's why the Trishul kind of crown symbol on top of T. So this is whole rebranding exercise looking simple, but has a huge branding exercise in aligning with the future customers. So this is our story, and jumping into the today's topic, right, from bricks to billion-dollar opportunities. So real estate has completely revamped and changed from traditional real estate. Just find a land, build some building, and sell it to the people in the market. No, it's completely shown due to these factors that you see, right? Rapid urbanization, technology integration, and every home is getting integrated with smart gadgets. Everything is remotely. You can just like how you scroll up and scroll down. You can scroll up and scroll down the lumens of lights with just a touch, remotes, door handles. Everything is technology integrated, and sustainable construction. Just like ESG practices in any companies are being valued by every stock market investor. Even in construction, we have a huge sustainable practices going on, and smart homes and many investment opportunities. Since last 2 years, the stock markets are not giving great returns. So many educated investors, due to the rise of the content creation in YouTube or of influencers, whatever, real estate has become a prominent a go-to destination for investment as well. So with these factors, the real estate has completely changed from traditional brick building to creating a product that solves some problems similar to smartphones and all that stuff. So with this context now, so I'm targeting the person of, if you want to do something in real estate, just be an entrepreneur or to start something in the real estate. So this is how we think as builders, right? So how to analyze a micro market or how to choose a particular location to start some project or to invest somewhere. These are the major parameters. So first, in India, we have so many micro markets, predominantly the major metropolitan cities and maybe the tier two cities like one of our Indore, Coimbatore, and all that stuff. So how do you pick a particular city to invest in or to start a business in this? So one important parameter is GDP. So you have to analyze or get the cities whose GDP is more than 12%. This is one of the major factor. So why do we need this GDP more than 12%? That's where you have more disposable income, and the demand for housing and commercial space will organically increase due to the expanding employment opportunities. When there is so much disposable income, so you have a great opportunity to target to those customers. So this is one major metric that you need to focus on to shortlist a destination. There's something called agglomeration concept. So what does that mean is it is a cluster of similar industries in one particular locality. For example, an IT society or IT companies cluster in, let's say, Whitefield in Bangalore, or a pharmaceutical industry in Hyderabad. Again, the pharma hub in Bangalore. And Gurugram, you have all those IT plus consulting companies. In Mumbai is consulting sector. ITIR, information technology investment region. There's the latest buzz in India, which is 12,000 acres edge. So concentration of similar industries in one particular area to define your target customers. So this is very important agglomeration concept. So you don't need to simply create something and push in the product where you don't even know your STP, just what we learn in MBA, right? That's one thing. So very importantly, this international board schools like Cambridge curriculum, whatever, international schools, right? And the interesting stat is the salary income or the income range of parents whose kids study in income IB board schools are minimum 50 lakhs. So these are your affluent class where you need to target. So you need to find a location where the IB schools are being concentrated. If at all you want to target the premium or niche segment of housing sector. And wherever you see the concentration of CBSE and ICSE schools, then you can find about a target mid-segment homes, affordable homes, let's say 50 lakhs to 1 CR range. So with this metric, you can find that schools also can tell the story of the cost of living in an area and the target whose segment is living in that particular locality when you're choosing a destination. Another interesting factor is foods and beverages, basically restaurants, bar and restaurants. So you need to find a location. You can have a Google APIs quickly. So you can go to the Google Maps, deploy the API and get an data of a particular micro market in which restaurants average order value is more than 1200 rupees. For example, the high average order value, 3000 rupees plus, it corresponds to affluent buyers, then you can only design premium housing sector. But in the same housing sector, if you define affordable segment, it hits back to you because, for example, there are many case studies in real estate where, let's say, a segment or an integrated township, you have both 1 BHKs, whereas in 4 BHKs. So your 1 BHKs will never sell because the 4 BHK customers wants to live in an area which is only designed to those 4 BHK customers, basically affluent buyers. For example, 4 BHK can cost 3 CR to 5 CR range, whereas 1 BHK can correspond to only hardly 50 lakhs, 60 lakhs, something like that. So you shouldn't mix and match. You need to define your target segment, and just like in our branding classes, you have to cater to the niche segment, premium segment, mid class segment. You shouldn't mix those things. So this FNB data also will help you to design how many or how the type of customer segments in that particular area. And the car showrooms also will help you. For example, in Bangalore Airport Road recently, a Ferrari showroom has opened due to based on which many upcoming buildings have been coming up with hi-fi integrated townships area in that locality. So this was also acted as a huge helping metric to design or define a micro market that helps any builder to focus on building a new project and targeting to that particular customers. So these are very, very interesting metrics that we use to source for a land, to define our target customers and focus on which area we need to invest in, our future projects. Okay, so the another important metric, right? So these are all fine. Assume you chose a particular locality, but you will come up with, let's say, 5 to 6 areas, 5 to 6 micro markets to invest in. Let's assume I just picked three major metro cities, but you can also pick Indore, you can also pick Coimbatore, you can also pick Bhubaneswar and all those such cities. So once you have short list of, let's say, 4 to 5 localities, so which locality you need to zero in on, right? For example, I've listed out few parameters based on which you can choose one. So if I want to invest in a particular micro market, I will check, let's say, populations. In Hyderabad is around 1 crore population, and Bangalore is around 1.3 million. Gurgaon is more than that. So very important metric, right? Water supply, like million liters delivery per day. You see in Bangalore, the corporation is supplying 1,460 million liters per day, whereas in Hyderabad, 2,610 for the same population. And the pipeline coverage, water pipeline coverage in Bangalore, we have 575 square kilometers, whereas in Hyderabad, we have 1450, almost 2.7x of Bangalore, which means so water supply, Hyderabad is very good than Bangalore. Security, right? CCTV surveillance in the city, not in gated localities. 64% of India's CCTVs are only in one Hyderabad, seventh in the largest world. So Hyderabad fares too good in the security surveillance. Now coming to our target customers, like how do they think, and how do you define your own target customers, right? Cost of living meal for two in Hyderabad, it is around 1,500 bucks, whereas in Bangalore 2,000, Gurgaon more or less 2,000. Household income. So this is a data on average of, let's say, an IT employee or in that particular micro market. So average monthly income is 1 lakh in Hyderabad, 1.2 lakhs in Bangalore, and 1.1 lakhs in Gurgaon. Rent for 3 BHK house per month in Hyderabad 50,000, Bangalore 70,000, Gurgaon 65,000. So all this data is targeting towards a premium niche segment. You can also find, let's say, little lesser higher value of rents, but not in the premium localities wherever we want to find, right? So again, we saw the international board schools. The school fee for the international boards in Hyderabad is 2.5 lakhs, Bangalore 2.75 lakhs, Gurgaon is 3.1 lakhs. Now you just do this comparison. Household income for 1 lakh is 2.5 lakhs. So more or less Bangalore and same, whereas in Gurgaon, income is less, but the cost is very high for the school fee. Similarly, if you want to buy a house in the prime locality, in Hyderabad, more or less 10,000 rupees per square feet is going on. Bangalore 15,000 to 20,000. Gurgaon again it is 20,000 per square feet. Crime rate again 267 per 1 lakh people. In Bangalore it is 337. Gurgaon it is huge 1832. So majorly urban mobility. For example, in Hyderabad, if you compare high tech city, you have metro plus expanding infra. Bangalore, though it is choked, metro has been constructing now. In another 4 to 5 years, this problem will be solved a little. But Gurgaon again is choked. Now, so this data-driven analysis, right? This will help you. So how do you fetch these tools? You use this market research tools. For example, we have platforms like Prop Equity. Recently, government has given this. unified RERA platform also just a couple of days ago. You just go to RERA databases and you can download this entire data. As I mentioned earlier, you can have Google Maps APIs where you can perform granular neighborhood level research. For example, in Indore, if you say that's a Sarafa Bazaar area, so where you want to find the income level people, right? So you can find from this Google Maps APIs, RERA databases. Maybe you can just try it out Google Maps APIs on Sarafa Bazaar. You can find for each restaurant what is average order value. So this includes not only this data analysis, you also need to find out commercial leasing absorption. For example, in Bangalore, on an average, 1 lakh square feet is being leased to commercial office spaces, and you can also search for school density, F&B outlets. So with the combination of all these parameters, tools, and technologies, you can find out a particular locality where you need to focus on, be it maybe the investment where you want to invest in, or be it maybe an entrepreneur if you want to start, let's say, only marketing job and real estate, or if you want to become a builder. So this is like new age of technologies are becoming a key enabler in choosing investments and defining the localities where you want to focus on to build your next projects. So this is newest technology, and now I'm coming to the our MBA kind of style where you can focus on investments. So in if you're told you want to invest in real estate, so there is a concept called investment clusters. So there's three types of investment clusters. You need to focus on infrastructure cluster, you need to focus on connectivity cluster, and there's something called upcoming developments cluster. So I picked North Bangalore as an example to explain this framework. And for example, let's say infrastructure cluster. I know many of you won't be having an idea of Bangalore. So, but infrastructure, so this North Bangalore is the only micro market in Bangalore where you have 120 plus feet roads and you have an international airport, and the metro is almost at the finishing stage where it will take another 2 to 3 years to metro run. And there is also railway zone coming up in the infrastructure. So connectivity cluster, there's a new central government project called Satellite Town Ring Road. It's around 283 kilometers. It's kind of a circle encircling entire Bangalore satellite towns. And as I said, this is the only micro market where you have 6-lane highway, that is Kashmir to Kanyakumari highway passes through this North Bangalore. And we also have some outer ring roads, Bangalore Business Corridor. So this infra cluster and connectivity cluster more or less same to every micro market out there. Even in Indore, you can see these two things. So the major differentiating factor for any investment area is this upcoming developments. And North Bangalore is the largest sedge located area in India right now, where you have almost 27,000 acres of developments that are announced in 2010, now bearing fruits in Azan today. For example, KIDB, this is one agglomeration where you have aerospace, high tech, and defense tech park around 9,000 acres. And there's something called ITIR Sedge, Information Technology Investment Region, 12,000 acres. Knowledge Wealth Investment City, around 5,800 acres. So all these put together comes to upcoming to 27,000 acres. Now, with this, when you apply this framework, you need to find a micro market which is union of all these clusters. And for example, if you say, and then apply your basic fundamentals of housing sector, right? So with for these clusters development, what do you need? For example, housing, you need 1.5 to 2 million homes needed in next 4 to 5 years, catering to this North Bangalore micro market because of the upcoming developments what we have seen. So residential sales has seen 23% year-on-year growth last year, and this last quarter has a little decline, but this is an improvement. And 70% of real estate transactions in Bangalore are only happening in this north micro market. So with this data, right? So how we think as a builder or accounting professional in the investment segment, this really helps where you need to focus on housing sector in addition to the technology enablers that we discussed earlier. Now, So in addition to the housing sector, what do you need to cater to this population, right? You need this weddings, conferences, social leisure, and all this stuff. So you can also invest in commercial sector that caters to these event segments. And another commercial sector of retail areas, malls, restaurants, tourism, basically consumption driven economy. So, in a nutshell, whether you use this investment clusters, whether you use the technology data that I've shown you, your real estate investment decision should focus on this micro market analysis, not only the city level GDPs that we discussed. And please note that inside one city also there are many micro markets that can exhibit vastly different growth trajectories, supply demand economics, and the income profiles. For example, in Bangalore, South Bangalore sales have been declining since last 2 to 3 quarters, whereas North Bangalore is increasing. I mean, for whatever reasons. So when we do the macro level analysis of cities GPT, again you have to come inside each micro market and then define your own locality. Now, what do we do to cater to this kind of stuff? I mean, so we as a company, we have residential segment, which is into housing sector, integrated developments, townships, so in which like apartments, villas, villaments, plotted developments. And we also have commercial, just like how we cater to the event space, office spaces, retail outlets, service apartments, boutique hotels and resorts. And so to cater to the proper niche segment of retirement destination, we have farmlands, agriculture farms. So in all these businesses, we have a minimum 30-40 margins, 30 to 40% margins on each product that we are creating. Now, for you as an academic, what do you call a case study? What are the investment options in a real estate for any investor, right? So, in general, people look for land investments that offers very high returns. But the problem with the land investments, especially in Bangalore, because we operate predominantly in Bangalore. So if at all we want to invest in Bangalore, we generally don't buy the land. We get into joint development because land legal titles are not so is in Bangalore, whereas in Andhra we buy direct lands because in Bangalore most of the lands are granted lands and they have its own pros and cons. So while land generate exceptional returns, you should be very, very careful in legal verification, protection against encroachment, and so real estate is one notorious industry where anything can happen from people who are in power and all that stuff. So if at all you want to investment in land, check out for reputed developers from a land, plotted developments, or maybe if you have connections in the high level, you can reach out to the land aggregators where you can invest in a land and sit for ideal. Let's say maybe after finding a micro market, you can sit for a couple of years where you can get very good appreciation. For example, in one of the North Bangalore micro markets, we have a villa project which has seen almost 120% appreciation in just last 1 year due to the developments. So land investment is always good, but it comes its own risks. And the second investment option you need to see, you need to find a hotspot, real estate hotspots where urban planning and infrastructure is not so great. Which means let's walk to work is the latest trend going on in India because of traffic issues and all that stuff, where you'll get huge rent options, maybe a spike in rental yield. Instead of normal 3 to 4% or 4 to 6% rental yield, you may get more than that. So you can also see those hotspots in each micro market. Maybe not in tier 2 cities and metropolitan cities, this will be a great thing. But this just short term returns, just like IPO returns. So for a long-term play in real estate investments, you can think about other options. And especially in metro cities, you can get very good rental yield. In generally, the trend is in residential, basically housing sector, your yield will be 3.5 to 4.5%, whereas commercial it is 6 to 8%. And like in Goa models where you have vacation homes, you'll have again 8 to 10%. Those are the rental yields. So the suggestion is younger investors, maybe the Gen Zs and the alphas who are where we are focusing on right now. They can go for flipping strategies, targeting 18 to 20% CAGR. So I'll explain what is this flipping strategy. Simply, let's assume you are an employee who has a credit potential. You can negotiate with the builder, just pay 20% down payment and exit before possession. I'll give you a simple example, right? Let's assume your flat is once year. You get 20 lakhs from the bank and 20 lakhs from your pocket as a down payment and 80 lakhs from the bank to fund this flat. And in general, it takes 3 to 4 years to deliver a particular flat. In real estate, the normal appreciation is just 6%. In the same in the 3 to 4 years, you'll have an 6% into the, let's take 3 years, 18% appreciation. So before doing anything. And assume if your once year has become 1.18 year, and because the builder has developed some product, you'll have additional appreciation 10 or 20%. Even if you consider 20% appreciation, 20 plus 18, 38%, but number per, let's say 40%. Your one CR has become 1.4 CR in a 3 years time frame. And assume you exit before possession. So you'll get 1.4 CR to your hand, and you will pay 90 lakhs to the bank, and you'll have 50 lakhs in your hand. So 80 lakhs is the principal and 10 lakhs is interest to the bank. So you have invested 20 lakhs from your pocket and you've got 50 lakhs as overall return. That's almost 150% profit. So, and the CAGR, it will be around 28-30%. So you can have that flipping strategies in your younger lives, whereas in older investors, they can focus on stable rental yields that we discussed so far. So this is very interesting option for maybe younger folks like you. The other one is bulk deals. There is a concept called discount home buying where you guys can form a group, especially IIT, IM guys, they do this, or government officers. They come up with a group of 10 people, 20 people and sit with builder and get 20-30% discounts. And then in turn, they sell in the market for normal market rate. So this is also a very good option. And the main thing is commercial leasing absorption. I think one of our own alum has a fractional real estate company as well, where whenever this commercial leasing option, there are companies who can take this and putting in on fractional real estate. So this is also another very good investment option. So this is general investment options for any investor in real estate. Now, our own investment options, generally, what do we do in our company? So this, I'm taking this to show you how each builder thinks like innovatively. So we are giving direct equity option or partnership option in our upcoming projects to rapidly expand. So basically organical growth. So and if they get into partnership mode, they get in 2x to 3x in 3 to 4 years time. So any builder, if the project doesn't yield 1:3 returns, they won't even touch. So that's a basic, a fundamental rule we need to consider before we start a project. The second one is financing options. We give you some security, but at the general 1 rupee interest or 12% interest. That's a normal, any industry offers this. And there is something called network deals. What does that mean is before approvals and RERA permissions, so we generally give out, let's say, almost a raw price with very minimal margins that they get almost 60% to 80% appreciation in 1 year. But for this, they need to know the investor, I mean, the builder, and they should trust because there's a huge risk involved before approvals. The pre-launch deals I just explained about the discount home concepts, more or less the same deal. Then the rental assets. As I said, one of my product is solving a huge rental problem or EMI problem. So it gives guaranteed rental income that gives 12% rental yield. So if a person invests 2.5 CR in a villa, we are giving 24 lakhs per annum as a rental yield because we tied up with a five-star hotel and it is working like in that particular micro market because of its location advantage tourism sector. So people also can look up to those. So these are our investment options. Couple of here and there creativity has been involved compared to general traditional investor models. Now, so just financing model we just explained, and so I just explained you how to research a particular micro market and have both the normal financial advisory of those investment clusters and deploy the technology to find out a particular micro market to focus on while investing in real estate. So, and I've also given you each builder will have their own creative models, how I've shown my own model. This is our basic portfolio to showcase how we as rapidly expanding in a particular micro market. These are all our delivered projects, and these two are ongoing projects, and all these yellow highlighted ones are upcoming projects. So these were a couple of few elevations, and so this, for example, these three are ongoing projects. This is aero theme project because it's just close to Bangalore airport. We are trying to build in line with the Bangalore theme, and this is a Bali theme project because it has been built in Nandi Hills, which is a tourism hill station. So, and we wanted a holiday destination for it. So generally we picked Bali because Bali is one of the holiday destination right now, and we are picking those themes. These are just plotted developments near STRR Road, that whatever explained as one of huge investment destination in Bangalore. So this is a Bali themed villas. In Bali theme, generally every villa will have a private pool. So we've got rid of that private pool concept. This is our innovative concept where we are giving 15 feet height waterfalls in each villa. And this is the only one which gives also the 2 lakhs per month rental guarantee, solving the freedom problem of any employees. So these are the particular details. This is aero theme elevations. And this is one of the commercial project where we have enabled fractional real estate. So I'm just showcasing this, like what is this new age real estate guys are doing in traditionally building and pushing it to the market. And yeah, this is it from my side. I'm open to all your queries. Yes, please, Juhi.
Yes, hello. First of all, thank you so much for this presentation. It was actually very insightful. We learned a lot. So you mentioned that there's some risks in investing in real estate, which are like political based or like, based on whatever's going on in the whole political aspect. So can you give some examples which you might have faced as an investor yourself in your whole tenure and career as this?
Okay. So the underlying or fundamental risk in real estate is liquidity. So anyone can buy, but it is not easy to exit from the real estate. But the exact answer to your question is, for example, enter Bangalore cabinet ministries from more than 90% of the Bangalore cabinet ministries from Bangalore constituencies, and their major source of income is from the real estate itself. And in Bangalore, especially, all the land owners or land aggregators are politicians. Now, in one of the investment option I mentioned, you can buy a land which gives better returns, right? And the biggest problem is a politician can come and encroach your land, saying, let's say maybe partial of it, full land of it. So this is the biggest problem being a builder. Now, so when I think in MBA we generally I think in one of I don't remember the subject, but when you go for sustainable competitive advantage, the simple framework of Porter's five forces, right? So barrier to entry is key to your business success. So real estate is one such field. So barrier to entry is very high unless you have this support and know how to mitigate these problems of encroachment, maybe from the politicians, maybe from the people who has more money and power. If you don't have that solving power, solution power, it is not easy. So for an as an individual investor, even if you buy a plot, so your bargaining power is very less to solve that problem. So that's why you should be very careful where you're investing in as an individual investor. You go to a reputed builder and invest with them, even a small pot of land. So this was an issue, and so this is our day in and day out job where you will have face these problems. That's why we have our in-house land procurement team, in-house legal teams to solve these issues. Every builder faces this.
Thank you so much for answering the question.
Yes, Satyam.
Uh, Hello, sir. Thank you so much for that great presentation. I wanted to ask, like, since I saw in the presentation that the housing or the real estate projects that were mentioned were mostly targeted towards the premium segment. So, are there any plans to build some kind of a budget housing for, let's say, outstation students or working professionals who have just like starting their careers?
We do see. I've picked a premium segment because the most of the data available is only from the premium customers. So, well, for example, there is a restaurant data and all that stuff, right? The budget segment, yes. For example, in one of our villa projects, we have got almost 10,000 leads, based on which we have created a separate segment where in 20 acres we are doing budget villas. So nowhere in Bangalore you can get a house less than 1 CR. So we are trying to build, let's say, 1 to 1.5 CR villa projects in almost outskirts of the Bangalore, but very close to the Bangalore airport. And if you also see the sales data of top micro markets, there's a huge decline in affordable segment buying patterns of a customer. If a house is, let's say, 50 lakhs to 1 CR, there's almost 30% plus decline in that segment, and more than 20% growth in 1 to 1.5 CR or 1 to 2 CR segment. So this is the case in top metro cities, but if you also see the data of cities like Indore, Coimbatore, and there is a huge demand of budget segments like 50 lakhs to 1 CR range. So, but yes, we do have a couple of projects focusing on affordable segment, but under the different brand name.
Okay, I think you answered all our questions, and that is all the questions we have for today. So, on behalf of the Alumni Committee, I would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to you, sir, for joining us today and sharing your invaluable insights. Your journey and perspectives on the evolving real estate landscape has given us a fresh outlook on an industry full of opportunities, and your experiences have truly inspired us. Our sincere thanks also goes to Professor Manish Popley, Chair Alumni Affairs, for his constant guidance and encouragement. A special word of appreciation to the Alumni Office for their dedicated efforts behind the scenes in making the session possible. And finally, a big thank you to our audience for your enthusiastic participation and engagement. We look forward to seeing you again at the next session of Wisdom, the Alumni Talk Series. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Bye.